Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video on this channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that comes up quite often in the K-pop world, male idols altering or masculinizing the choreography of girl group dances. This issue generates a lot of debate, and I'd like to share my personal opinion on it. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so please don't hesitate to join the conversation. Without further ado, let's get started.
Dive in, adult swim. Dive in.
Ever since TikTok trends became a thing, it's become increasingly common to see idols from different groups team up to dance to each other's songs. However, in some of these collaborations, it's noticeable that male idols occasionally avoid performing the dance moves that are typically perceived as more feminine. The reason behind this isn't always clear. We don't know if they make that choice themselves, or if it's something encouraged, or even enforced, by their company or management. This ambiguity only adds to the ongoing debate. Every time a male idol performs a girl group choreography and modifies it to appear more masculine, the comments section tends to explode with hate. Personally, I don't agree with the idea that this is inherently a bad thing. Each idol has their own unique style of dancing, which is influenced by years of training. Most male idols are trained using choreography that focuses more on power, projection, and sharper movements, generally considered more masculine in the dance world. This doesn't mean that power is strictly masculine and fluidity strictly feminine, but in general terms, this is how styles are often categorized in choreography. So, if an idol has been training for years to master strong, forceful movements, it's natural that this would become their default style, and that they might unconsciously incorporate those habits when dancing other styles, including girl group choreographies. I don't believe it's done with bad intentions, and I certainly don't think it's always done to avoid being perceived as less masculine. That said, there are people who argue that some male idols might dance this way to avoid being labeled or ridiculed, especially with regards to sexuality. There have been cases where, when a male idol performs a girl group dance in a more fluid or traditionally feminine way, they're mocked or made fun of. Some even create videos specifically to ridicule them. You make me kitty, 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 all day. Kitty, 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 all night. Can you stay up all night? Fuck me till the daylight. This kind of reaction may push certain idols to adjust the choreography to avoid becoming targets of that mockery. Later in the video, we'll also be talking about a related issue: how some idols change the lyrics, especially pronouns and gendered terms, when covering songs by artists of the opposite gender. I think this is another interesting aspect that deserves a bit of discussion. Now, let's talk about a specific example. Sometimes the choreography is actually taught to the idol already altered to follow their style, or the company's directions. This happened to Yeonjun from Tomorrow by Together when joining itzy in 2 TikTok trends, and in both cases, the choreography he performed was slightly different from the original. This sparked a lot of backlash online, with many criticizing him for not sticking to the exact moves. itzy later posted a video of themselves dancing to gnarly, with a high level of energy and precision, and many interpreted this as shade thrown at Yeonjun for his earlier performance. However, not long after, a behind-the-scenes video surfaced showing how Yeonjun was actually taught the altered choreography.
And then you can do whatever you want.
He was simply doing what he had been shown, yet people were quick to judge him. And the irony is, Yeonjun is not an idol who typically masculinizes choreography. In fact, there are many examples where he dances girl group routines in a feminine and faithful way. Showing that he has no issue doing so when he feels it's right or authentic to the moment. Something similar also happened with the members of Boy Next Door when they danced to Touch. However, it's also important to acknowledge that there are limits. For example, if I showed you a specific choreography and asked you to guess the song, would you be able to recognize it? There's a good chance that a few songs would come to mind, but probably not Snapping by Chungha. That's the problem. When a choreography is altered too much, to the point where the essence of the original is completely lost, it's no longer a cover, it becomes something else entirely. Some criticism is, in fact, valid, especially when the altered choreography seems designed to make fun of or undermine the original performance. This was a lot more common during K-pop's second generation, where some male idols would dress up as girls and exaggerate the femininity of the dances in a way that clearly conveyed mockery. It sent a harmful message. That femininity is something to be laughed at or looked down upon. But in most current cases, I don't believe that male idols are changing the choreography with that intention. Rather, they may just be trying to feel more comfortable while performing something that wasn't choreographed for their style or strengths, and that doesn't mean they are trying to belittle anyone. It's also worth noting that this phenomenon isn't exclusive to male idols. Just as there are male idols who masculinize feminine choreographies, there are female idols who feminize masculine choreographies. A perfect example is Mian from I-DLE. She's known for her elegant and graceful dancing style, which she carries over even when performing choreography originally designed for boy groups. And for me, this isn't a bad thing. Just as it isn't wrong when male idols add their own flair to girl group dances. Dance is a form of expression, and as long as it's done with respect and without harmful intentions, there's room for individuality. Another thing I want to talk about is lyric changes in covers, especially when it comes to gender swaps. I've seen quite a few cases where idols switch the gender of the original lyrics, and the first example that came to mind was when Way did a cover of Tomboy by I-DLE. That performance received a lot of backlash, and I think it's because the original song carries a very specific and deliberate message.
Why are you cranky guy? My mom raised me as a prince, so this is kingdom right?
When Soyeon wrote Tomboy, she wasn't just making a catchy song, she was actively trying to break away from traditional gender roles. She even said, "What we want to convey is that we don't attribute our actions to gender or age, because I'm me is why I am, and why I act the way I do." That statement reflects the entire point of the song, owning your identity as a woman unapologetically, without being boxed in by what's expected. So when the lyrics and pronouns were changed in the cover, a lot of people felt like the meaning was completely altered. A song that was about female empowerment suddenly became gender neutral or even shifted to a male perspective, and with that, a big part of its original impact was lost. It wasn't just a stylistic change, it affected how the message was received. When it comes to lyric changes, I tend to be a bit more critical. There are plenty of songs you can cover without needing to change the lyrics, especially if you're just uncomfortable singing from the perspective of someone addressing a man. What I don't understand is why someone would deliberately choose a feminist anthem, only to change the lyrics and, in doing so, completely shift the meaning of the song. If you want to cover a idol song, there are many that are more gender neutral or flexible, but to pick that one specific track, the one that was clearly written with a feminist message in mind, and then rewrite it to remove that context, just feels disrespectful. It's not just a creative reinterpretation at that point, it's stripping the song of its original purpose, which was to empower and express a bold, unapologetic female identity. That intentional choice is what makes it harder to justify. It's understandable that idols might want to feel more comfortable singing lyrics that reflect their own identity, but at the same time, some songs are written with very intentional narratives, and changing them can come off as tone-deaf, especially when the original message is about visibility and empowerment for a group that often gets overlooked. There's a difference between adapting a song and unintentionally silencing its purpose. The conversation around male idols adapting girl group choreography is complex. It's unfair to generalize and assume every change is rooted in disrespect or insecurity. Idols are human, they have preferences, the way they dance is influenced by their training, personality, and the context in which they're performing. Let's open up the space to appreciate all forms of expression, masculine, feminine, and everything in between, without policing how someone should move their body to music.
And this has been all. I hope you like it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. It would help me a lot. See ya.